Hey, thought I forgot about you, didn't I? But no, here we are, chapter 3 of our book study here on He Loves Me from Wayne Jacobson. And today, boys and girls, you're all going to hell. Okay, not really, but it is kind of related to our content today. We'll jump right into it here. You'll see where this is going, okay? Anyways, the author starts by telling the story that the evangelist has put forth the question, what happens if you die in a car accident tonight? That you could find yourself in a garden of eternal pleasure and beauty, or writhing in agony amid the sulfuric flames of hell. He goes on to say if there was ever a choice that defined no-brainer, that was probably it. And that goes on to say that, if you believe heaven and hell exist, it's easy to get somebody to convert. It's a small price to pay to get a hell-free card, after all. But he does go on to say that, the threat of hell can stir an instant commitment. It doesn't breed much for long-term disciples. And if you're in this kingdom only because you fear the alternative, have to enunciate here, you've missed the greatest part of what it means to know God. He goes on and says, no one ever threatened to do something that was wonderful. My parents didn't threaten me with punishment to get me to go to Disneyland. But to make me do yard work or go to the dentist, that's another matter. So if I'm told I have to love God or he's going to throw me in hell, I might as well consider it, or at least pretend I do. But can a true friendship blossom under such a threat? Well, there's kind of the problem, isn't it? So he's obviously painting now. It was a practice for quite a while ago. Old evangelists used to do it, and you still hear tell of it happening now. People using the threat of, oh, you're going to go to hell, you're going to burn, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, in order to try to get somebody to make a commitment to follow God. But the problem with that, and there's a few, but one of the big ones is it doesn't really make you want to have a relationship with them. You're only in it for what you can get out of it. This is a pretty one-sided deal. Think about it. I mean, if the only reason that you are going to church or following God is to try to keep yourself from some eternal fire pit, you're probably not too concerned with having a relationship with him here and now, which is kind of what he's after. That was the whole cross and the crucifixion and the resurrection. That's to have a relationship with God in the here and the now. That's not something way off. That's now. This is what he wanted, was to have this relationship with you. And obviously that becomes a bit of a problem when the only reason you're involved with him is because you're terrified that something bad's going to happen to you if you're not, right? Obviously, not to share mention of the fact that, like I say, it is really one-sided in this. I mean, you're not in it because you want God or because you love God or anything else. You're in it just for what you can get out of it. I don't know if you've ever been in a relationship like that where it was really one-sided, whether it's a friendship or romance or even work or whatever, but the person only wanted something to do with you for what they could get from you. If there was no give and take here, there was no back and forth, it was one-sided. You give or they walk. And that's kind of how it worked. And if you've ever been in that kind of relationship, it doesn't feel very good, does it? I've been in them before. It's unpleasant. No matter how hard you try, it's never enough. And I keep wondering, really honestly, if in my limited knowledge and experience and emotional capacity for love, if that bothers me, what would it bother God like? I mean, I can't for the life of me imagine that he's terribly thrilled with that arrangement. I mean, he wants to be with you, and he wants to know you, and he wants to show you things and live life with you, and all you're concerned about is, oh, well, don't have to be buried with suntan lotion, or barbecue sauce, maybe, depending upon your view, I guess, really. Just putting it out there. I know. Now, Where is it here? He goes on, he's mentioning about Jesus' message when he was on earth here, that it wasn't come to God or you're going to burn in hell. It was God's kingdom has come near you and you can become a participant in it. You have a Father in heaven who loves you more than any person ever has or ever will. And you can discover now what it means to have a daily relationship with him. If you choose not to, then your own sin and whatnot will destroy you utterly and completely. But you do have that choice. Jesus compared this life to a treasure discovered in a field, something so valuable that you would give up anything to possess it. His life is not something you have to follow. He's worth knowing just because of how incredibly awesome he is. If you want his gifts without wanting him, you're cheating yourself out of the best portion. And I mean, that's the truth, right? And, it comes down to, a lot of it too is, Paul had mentioned that you can't have righteousness on your own terms, right? You can't, there's nothing you can do that's going to make you so good that God is going to accept you. And when your relationship with God is based on fear rather than love, then you fall into, you remember our story at the start here about He Loves Me? About pulling the petals off the daisies? That's where you end up at. You end up, well, things are going good. I'm in good with God. Oh, no, something's wrong. I'm in bad. I got to help myself. Oh, I'm going to be in trouble. And this is where you fall into. All in all, threatening someone with hell in order to get them to come into a loving relationship is just not, that's like saying, telling somebody, go out with me or else. Like, are you really expecting? It might work, but I can't picture it being the most healthy of relationships for you. Just putting it out there. And it's the same thing here, Just saying. Anyways, I know we're kind of bouncing around a little bit here. I was out shoveling earlier. It's snowing here, by the way. I don't know if it snows where you are, but it snows here. And you have to shovel it. It's very unpleasant. It's not my favorite pastime. I'll just put it out there. Anyways, we do have our little question here at the end here. And it says, did you come to know God only because you were afraid of the alternatives, or were you entreated by his love? Do you view him as some hard, stern, heavy-handed judge, sitting in the cloud with a lightning bolt, you know what I mean? Smite thee! Or do you view him as a loving father that's waiting to be there for you, who wants to be involved in your life? Anyways, so that is chapter 3 in a nutshell. Again, He Loves Me, Wayne Jacobson. It's on Amazon. If you're interested, it's on Amazon. This is where I got my copy. Oh, I know, it's amazing. The stuff you can find on there, right? Oh, dying. Anyways, I'm going to go back to pretending it's not snowing, that white stuff outside is actually white sand, and there's palm trees growing everywhere, so I'm going to lounge, whatever. And I hope you have a good night until we meet again, as it were. Remember, we are all in this together. So, you take care, and we'll chat at you later. All right?